Hi, thanks for tuning into Street Life. I'm Natasha, and today I am here at Rodney Scott BBQ. I learned about Rodney Scott a few years ago, saw him in a few cooking shows about restaurants and whatnot. Rodney Scott is known for whole hog barbecue, so a lot of different pork options, pulled pork, ribs, as well as I believe wings and brisket and the sides of it to be expected. So hoping that it's good. Have pretty high expectations. Been looking forward to it for a while, so I hope that it lives up to my expectations. Here at Rodney Scott BBQ, you can see I've already gotten started eating my food here. I've got the whole hog going on, which is sort of like I saw that like Rodney Scott takes like a whole pig, they cook it in a pit, and then like kind of shred the meat, season it down and whatnot. And this is kind of like your pulled pork here, and that's what we have. And it's incredibly flavorful, nice and moist, juicy, good flavor, well seasoned. I tried it with a few different sauces. Didn't, really care for the sauces, but you actually don't really need it. It's nice and flavorful. You can see, like, it looks like there's some black pepper, there's some other seasonings and whatnot in between, and it's just really, really good flavor. It looks like there's like some bits of pepper in there. It's not like hot or overly spicy. It's just like the right amount of everything. And you taste this, and it is incredibly good. So definitely satisfied with that. I'm actually going to take, I think it's the Kathy sauce. I think of the three, the sauces I didn't really care for. I feel like they're a little too vinegary and also a little too watery. But the Kathy sauce of the three I think is actually the best. It had like a nice little flavor to it. So I'll just drip a little bit of that over. And just give that a try. But I like it. Everything's good. Actually, I took like a little bit of time. The food came pretty quickly. So usually I use like that time once I place my order. Because you'll sit down at a table, you place your order, you wait maybe 10-15 minutes or so. They'll start bringing your food out. In this case, I showed up. There were people here, but it wasn't like super packed or anything like that. And so with that, I really didn't have much of any time to wait for my order. I came in, I placed the order at the counter, went, used the bathroom, washed my hands, and then found a table and like started setting up. And it's like they brought the food out before I was even finished setting up. So it worked out really well. The downside to it is that the food sat for a little while and got a little bit cool, but yet still, like, it's still really, really good. It's at room temperature at this point, but everything is really, really good. Nice and moist, lots of flavor, not overly salty, which can be a concern that I have, that food is either overly salty or overly sweet, but I have no complaints. I'd say 10 out of 10 for everything. You come out, it's a bit more pricey than what you might expect at other barbecue places, but I think it's worth it for the quality of the food. Everything is really good. I don't have any complaints about anything. My only thing would be the sauces, and those are like extra. You don't really even need them because the meat and everything else is so well seasoned that it's not like you have to drown it in a bunch of sauce to give it some flavor. You can completely eat this without any sauce or any additions. But super, super good. Nice and moist. The pulled pork is really good. Really nice flavor, and like the flavor is complex. It's not just all salty or all spicy. It's a nice blend of flavors, a nice balance of flavors. Everything is nice and tender, and it's like even the things that are like my least favorites, it's not that it's bad, it's just that something else is so much better that it's like a opposite comparison. But it's not bad at all, right? Like I would say this plate of barbecue beats most of the barbecue that I've had at other places, and I have absolutely no complaints. I wanted to visit for quite some time, but a lot of times, like if I happen to be doing something else in the area, it's like it's outside of meal times or something like that, or like a few times, like this isn't too far from State Farm Arena, I'd be going to like a show or an event or something like that there, and it's like the timing just didn't work out. But today I was in the area and it worked out for me to stop by, and I'm glad that I did. I had expectations, and you know, sometimes you'll see something on TV and it looks really great there and you're really excited about trying it out, and you build it up in your mind to come and give it a try, and then you try it out and it's like kind of disappointing. Certainly not the case here. It definitely lives up to my expectations and actually exceeds it. I know, like, I read some of the reviews on Google, and like, you know, people have complaints about food or this or that or whatever. Won't, you know, negate their experiences or whatnot. It could be a matter of maybe the size of the group that they were with, or they visited on a busier day, or, you know, the restaurant was just having just an off day or something. But I have no complaints. Definitely hit, and I would certainly recommend. I've had beef elsewhere. I've had brisket elsewhere. You know, I've had pulled pork and ribs and whatnot at other places, and it's been good as maybe arguably better. But the brisket, nothing's been hitting like this. Just incredibly good, flavorful, nice and tender. It's like, you know, I hear people go on and on about brisket, and granted, some of it could be that I just haven't had enough to, you know, really offer a valid opinion on it. But from what I've had so far, I think this is like the best. The texture of it, the flavor of it, just really, really good. It's incredible. It's like, to be fair, actually, trying the barbecue sauces on their own, they feel a little bit like watery and like too vinegary. But actually, the little bit that I put in the corner of the plate and then dipping the meat into that, it's actually pretty good. So I think this Kathy sauce is probably my favorite. I'm gonna put a little bit more of that on the plate. And I think on its own, because barbecue sauce isn't really made to be had on its own, that's probably not the proper way to gauge it. But having it with the meat, it's actually quite good. So even the barbecue sauce, I think, you know, I think maybe the Rodney sauce, I think that might be too acidic for me. But this Kathy sauce with meat is actually really, really good. It's like combined with the meat, it kind of mellows out some of that vinegar, so it doesn't feel as sharp. But it's good, man. I like it. I don't think there's nothing on my plate that I haven't enjoyed. You know, I think like my least favorite thing on the plate is the macaroni and cheese. And, you know, that's not even saying that it's bad. It's just that in comparison to everything else, it's not my favorite thing. But some good eating, man. Nice way to spend a Saturday afternoon, right? It's actually really, really good. I'm, like, certainly very, very impressed. Not a bad bite on the plate. And it's like I said, I ended up letting this sit for a little bit while I was trying to get the camera set up because it came out so quickly. So like right now I'm eating it and everything's at room temperature, but it's still really good. So it's like, I'd imagine if you were having, like, let's say you're going on a little picnic or something like that, you want to get some food to take along with you, or you're going to have, like, I mean, the beach isn't nearby, but let's say, you know, you're having like a nice day out or something like that. I could certainly see, like, you know, stopping by, getting like some to-go plates, and like this, you can have it, you don't need to reheat it. It's quite good at room temperature. Yeah, man, this is, I can give it this. It's like I'm eating the brisket, but like I want more of it to appear on my plate. I'm getting down to the end of it and it's like I want to save some for later, but at the same time, like, I want some now. I actually think the brisket's probably my favorite. It's like all I need now is just like a nap. Very, very impressed. Sometimes, you know, you hear about things and like they don't quite live up to the hype. Not the case here. Reputation is certainly well deserved. Definitely well deserved. I would certainly come back. But because I do YouTube, and I actually don't eat out that frequently, right? Like maybe once in a while or something like that. But I try to, you know, because I record when I go out, I generally would try a restaurant and then it's like I'll move on to something else. But I could see this being like a place that I come to, like, you know, a go-to spot when you're in the mood for barbecue. I've been to some other barbecue places in Atlanta, and they weren't bad or anything like that, but with a lot of the places, what my experience has been is that either the meat is really great, but the sides are mediocre, or the sides are really good, but the meats are mediocre, whereas here, everything is just really good. So I think for like barbecue, of the places I've tried so far, I think Rodney Scott's is hitting. Really, really good. And so with that, I highly recommend it. I think this plate here, now certainly I got this because I wanted to get a good sampling of everything. I wanted to try like the different meats. They do have, I think, chicken and wings and whatnot, but generally speaking, I don't like to eat chicken when I go out because I eat it all the time at home. But with this, I got the 3 meats plate because I wanted to try everything. And you actually get a fair amount of food here. Like, I'm sure I'm gonna take some of this home. But it came up to about 30 bucks or so. It's probably a little bit more pricey than what you might pay at other places, but I feel like for the quality of it, it's certainly worth it. Now, if I paid $30 and the food wasn't good, I'd have some complaints. But with this here, I think it's definitely worth it. Really, really good quality. Everything's cooked well, seasoned perfectly. Really good. So now then, as we're here, I decided on the way out to get some banana pudding to go. Let's open this up and give it a little try. It's a pretty fair size container, 6 and change. I think it came up to about $7 with taxes. So I'm gonna eat this at home, but I just wanted to give it a little try here. Okay, nice and cold, not too sweet, good banana flavor. Oh yeah, I could deal with that. I like that it's not like overly sweet. Nice and cold, light, airy. But I'm gonna save it for later because otherwise I'm gonna end up standing here. Oh boy, good eating, man. And so all in all, everything that I've had, I certainly recommend. And the quality is really good. It's a bit pricier than some of your other barbecue places. Granted, I don't think I've really been to too many barbecue places since COVID, so it's been a few years now. I've been to other restaurants, but to think of it, so, you know, I guess I'll have to visit some other places to see if their prices are out of range with other places. But I will say that for what you pay, I do think that you get a good deal of quality. So, yeah, man, I like that. You know, I like desserts that have like good flavor to them, but they're not overly sweet, and this certainly ticks that box.
Thanks for tuning in. To ensure you don't miss any episodes, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, go ahead and click that thumbs up button if you like what you saw, and go ahead and share it on social media.